Alrighty, are we ready? Cool. Okay, so I did my study. I found one that was on the effects of yoga on various psychiatric illnesses. So basically, I was very interested in how yoga affects the mind because, as we learned in class, it actually changes the structure of the brain, and also subjectively, it decreases things like stress and anxiety. So I wanted to look more into that and see like other types of mental illnesses, such as depression, anxiety, PTSD, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, to name a few. And one quote that I really liked from the study that I thought I'd highlight was that yoga is a holistic practice with evidence that it influences transmitters, inflammation, oxidative stress, lipids, growth factors, and second messengers in a manner largely similar to what has been shown for antidepressants and psychotherapy. This is also something we kind of covered in class, that yoga can have like an equal effect as different actual medicine, like chemical medicine. So that was taken from the study that I looked at. So the article was called Yoga on Our Minds, a systematic review of yoga for neuropsychiatric disorders. She is the main researcher, Meera Balasubramaniam. Not sure if I said that right. She's affiliated with Duke. She had another researcher affiliated with Duke, and her other colleague was from a Patanjali Research Foundation in India. This was published in 2013, and it was from the Journal of Frontier Psychiatry. It was also cited about 103 times, if I remember correctly. It's a meta-analysis, so people like it. So because it's a meta-analysis, basically the design was putting in these research like terms, Boolean term kind of thing. I just thought I'd show all the different stuff they looked at. And they narrowed 124 results to 16 studies using the following, using different criteria. So this is kind of a flowchart of their process. They took out different studies, either that they weren't RCTs, which are randomized controlled trials, or interventions or certain outcomes, and this is kind of just their overall methods. So they analyzed each study, and they picked out they made these different tables for each of the kinds of studies they found. So they found studies focusing on depression, schizophrenia, ADHD, eating disorders, sleep complaints, and conditions influencing cognition. And so while I didn't get like every type of like psychiatric abnormality that I was going for, I did get other ones. And so what they did was they comprised all the studies that fell into whichever category and made a nice little table. The one I have here is for depression. So for example, you have the samples here on the sides. Each one had, dozens of participants. They all did various types of yoga for various durations of time. So it's a very comprehensive meta-analysis. They had a lot of different things to look at. And they also based analyzed each study on some kind of grading scale. And you can see that over at the far right. So the results were inconclusive for cognitive disorders and eating disorders. They really didn't find correlations between those. Yoga had a much more significant impact on ADHD and schizophrenia, and they were really effective when paired with medication because these specific kinds are so powerful in certain ways. And then the most significant finding was on depression because it had grade B evidence, which the paper explained that it implies that the assessment is supported by sparse high-grade data or a substantial amount of low-grade data. So basically they either had a lot of data that was like kind of significant or a little bit of data that was very significant. So